Hello everyone, you are with Oz Konar here. As promised, I started the live meeting for this group specifically. So I'm just going to take a moment until everyone, at least a bunch of people arrive so we can get going. I'm just going to open the tab in another window so I can see your comments and questions. Give me 1 second, please. For those of you who joined, just let me know if you can see me and hear me fine. Obviously, I wouldn't want to do the whole thing without you guys seeing me. Oh wow, we have a bunch of people. So yeah, whoever joined, just give me a yes if you can see me and hear me fine, and we'll get going. Hey Jason. So I see Neil, Parnell, Jeff, Mars, Harvey, Robert, Richard. Hey Parnell, Mars, awesome, awesome. Neil, thanks, buddy. Thank you. Great to have you here. All right, so I guess I heard from enough number of people that everything looks good. Let's get started. So you might be wondering why you guys are here and why you're invited to this group. Apparently, you're a part of my email list, so at some point you might have signed up to view content from me. It could be my YouTube channel, or it could be my webinar. It could be the marketing services you provide. First of all, I'm not here to pitch you anything, so this is just for me to provide you another form of training on, if you will, if you accept it, on the merchant cash advance industry. So some of you might have joined the email list because you know a lot about the industry. Some of you were looking for a business to start either on the side or part-time. Some of you are looking to replace your income altogether from your job. Some of you want to work from home. So those are the usual reasons that people find me. And I wanted to open up this free group for me to add more content. Usually I email people about my content. And as you know, with emails, some get it, some don't get it, people forget. But a lot, obviously you guys are on social media, so you get to see this content more often. And more importantly, this is going to be automatically recorded. So if you can't make it after we're done here, it will be posted within the group, so you can come back and watch it again and again. All right, so let's see who else came in. Jason, Richard, hey guys, great to have you. So if you can just put a quick comment as to why you're here, what are you looking to get out of this, and if you're from the industry. So if you can just let me know who you are briefly. I know some of you commented in the group already introducing yourself as to where you are from, but I want to understand what you guys do. If you're from the Merchant Cash Advance, you can just put MCA. If you're not, if you have a job, you can just put job. I just want to have a general idea who we have here. Hey, Bob joined. Hey, Bob. So while you're commenting on that, guys, yeah, kind of give me a brief intro. So I don't really know many of you. You obviously do know me. You've been getting emails and content from me. For those of you who want more information, we posted some of my videos, YouTube videos, in this channel. But you can also go to my YouTube channel, and we have a lot of videos and interviews with actual members and things like that. So you can get a lot more information about the industry, because if you're planning to join, I want you to make an informed decision. This industry is a little unique. There is not a lot of information out there to be found. It's kind of unique that way. So if you try to look for information about the business itself, most of the content you're going to come across will be the content provided by the merchant cash advance companies and lenders promoting themselves. So I get complaints from a lot of people like that. Well, I wanted to do some research, but I really can't, because I can't really find anything about how the industry works, how the commissions work, and is this a real business? Is it legal, illegal? Is it scam? Are you guys called loan sharks and things like that? So people have their questions and assumptions, which is valid questions, right? You got to have your questions. So I wanted to do this live because I can answer those questions. So I know a bunch of more people joined. Richard says he's from MCA. Neil not from MCA. Jeff is from MCA. Mars from MCA. Brand new to MCA. Parnell says industry. I want to get a few questions answered about your program. Matt, MCA, newbie MCA. All right, so we have a ton of people from MCA. I didn't know that. That's awesome. You guys, so what the format is, you can, as you can see, I'm reading every comment as I go. This is not going to be a PowerPoint presentation. This is a very casual conversation about what I do, what we do, how the industry works. If you are brand new to the industry and you have a lot of questions, just you type in your questions. I'm just going to write in, and one thing will connect to another, and we're going to have a conversational meeting here. All right, so nothing formal. Again, I'm not here to offer you or sell you anything. Harvey is from Mortgage Loans. All right, quality leads are hard to come by. Jason, absolutely. Lead generation has been a seemingly complicated problem for traditional merchant cash advance companies. And how I know this is, all right, a little about me. Let's just backtrack a little bit. I've sold credit card processing, like merchant processing, sold credit card machines to companies and to restaurants and POS, touchscreen POS systems like Aloha, NCR. And along with that, I was introduced to merchant cash advance back then. I'm going back like 6 years ago in New York City, New Jersey and New York City area. So I've been selling credit card processing for a long time until then. And the way you get compensated for credit card processing is you're paid a spiff, like upfront signing bonus, and I think it was like $250 back then. And on the back end, you're getting paid about 20% residual on the profit itself. So if an average deli is doing $20,000 in credit cards, so the monthly residual you make from that is about $20-$30. All right. So you're trying to build your residual portfolio. That's how I used to make money. So as you can imagine, it takes a lot of $20, $30, $40 to be able to make decent income. Then a friend of mine introduced me to merchant cash advance, and I did know nothing about it at that point. And they told me, listen, you have a portfolio of about 200 merchants at that point. Why don't you go back to them and offer them merchant cash advance? So he gave me a little rundown, like a 10-minute pitch on how it works. I went out. My primary means of acquiring customer back then was 3 days of being on the street, pulling on doors, and 2 days of office time telemarketing. All right, so I had a list given. The list title was Gold Mine. So if you dial enough, you're gonna hit the gold. So I would call on that. So after I had that conversation, I closed someone on a $40,000 merchant cash advance. And I didn't make a big deal out of it because apparently I didn't really understand the compensation process. And a couple of days later, my friend walked in with a check for $4,000. Now, $4,000, I mean, it still is a lot of money, but $4,000 for a guy who is looking to make a living by selling $20, $30 per month accounts is a game changer. It was kind of transformative for me to see that amount, and I couldn't believe my eyes. And first question is, how the heck did we make this much money? And the second question is, if I'm making this much money, how much did you guys make? The third question is, if we're all making this much money, how much did the merchant pay back? The math, it just did not make sense at all. Of course, that grabbed my attention quite a bit. Then from that point on, I focused primarily on merchant cash advance and selling a heck of a lot of them until I got burnt out. Because cold calling, telemarketing, things like that, it takes the life out of you if you do it after a while. Then it's gotten to a point of me not wanting to do it anymore. And I started having conversations with my boss about, why don't we just send emails to these guys? And why don't we just, I heard about like automations and marketing, and they were in total disagreement. They just didn't like that. And I was making really good money, but at the time I was recently married, so it was just not going to work, right? I felt that. I saw the writing on the wall that it's not going to work. So I quit the job, started the marketing agency. My company, Local Marketing Stars, initially we were just focusing on doing marketing for local businesses, as our name indicates. Then we stumbled upon randomly to a merchant cash advance company. And we did their marketing, and me having a deep understanding of the industry, we killed it. Going back to Matt's question, like quality leads, they were complaining that they're spending a ton of money on their offshore center in the Philippines, and they had one in India. They tried on a monthly basis. They were buying leads, they were buying live transfers, data, cold calling, and direct mail, they've been doing direct mail for 4 years, and the effectiveness have been going down the hill. Every time they blast it out, they were spending a ton of money, and they were asking for the magic, like, what can you do to fix this right away? They were just all ears about just me telling this brand new shiny thing that would just solve all their problems. And my response to them is, when was the last time you sent an email to your list? They're like, well, we send Tuesday and Thursdays every week. I'm like, wow, you're sending emails every week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Can I see the open rates? It was just miserable, man. Like, it was like, I think less than 3% on the open rate. And they say, you know what, this is a waste of time. I don't even know why you're looking at our email list. Obviously, this list is dead. This is not working. Emails are not the way to go. We want you to focus on like the advanced stuff, like do some magical SEO or online marketing, do something so bring us some revenue. I said, no, the list is not dead. Your content sucks. So you're sending them newsletter type of like templated canned email that no one really cares because it has your big ass logo at the top talking about, here is our company. We've been doing this for X amount of years and blah, 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 all that stuff. Like, it doesn't provide any benefit to the customer at all. What if we just send them a personalized email? And I put together and wrote 3 emails. They were not impressed at all. They were just shaking their head like, this is crap, man. We're not going to. And I told them, listen, I'm not charging anything. Let me just allow me to email your list these 3 emails and see what happens. I don't think we can do worse than what you guys have done, right? And we did that. They generated $99,000 in commissions out of that. The open rate was through the roof because for the first time, people felt like they got a personalized actual email from the president of the company who's understanding what their needs are, right? So my point is, lead generation is usually a problem for companies because companies do not understand where to find these leads. Usually they go to the first company that offers them, hey man, I got data. I have a list of 50,000 people. Do you want to buy? So merchant cash advance is an industry that shouldn't have a lead generation problem, but somehow companies believe that they do. And the reason is that, let me just tackle why they shouldn't have a lead generation problem. Well, when you have a lead problem, it usually indicates that there's a demand problem, right? So if you have a product in the market that you're trying to sell, and if there are not enough people who want that, then you're not going to have enough leads. So that's going to lead to a lead generation problem because whatever you do, your cost per lead will be massively high. Even if you get those leads, then there's barrier to sale will be higher because the customer is suspicious of the product and they might not understand it enough and things like that. Merchant cash advance is none of that. Like, first of all, you're selling the sexiest product on earth, money, and you're selling it to businesses. And if someone is looking for money, the natural question is, why haven't they gotten it already? Well, they haven't gotten it because they couldn't get it, right? That's the obvious answer. Or something came up very new, they needed the money right away, and they know that they can't get it from their banks and things like that. So they need it. But instead of trying to look for people who need it, most of the industry go after people who had a need at some point, but have been bombarded by 50,000 merchant cash advance companies already, and go down that path and come out and say, well, you know what, this is not working because these people are not interested, or the leads are bad, or they've been called on already. Yeah, because you're targeting a very small segment of the market. There are millions of small businesses, and are you telling me that they don't have a need for money? Right? Because you're going by pretty much what most of the industry is doing and trying to replicate what the big guys are doing, right? Which is a problem. Like, if you pretend to do marketing the same way OnDeck does, you're going to get in trouble. Why? OnDeck, Yellowstone, they get leads from telemarketing, they get leads from this and that. They apply multi-channel marketing. So they have a ton of inbound leads coming through because they're paying more than $250,000 a month on Google ads, and they're investing a ton of money to their organic search results, like they have an article writing, they have a content team and things like that. And you as the individual ISO look at that model and say, you know what, those guys are telemarketing, it's working for them, I'm going to do that too. You're forgetting that you're copying like 5% of what they're doing overall. So you expect to get the 90% of the results that they're getting, which is not going to happen. So as an individual ISO, you got to do something different. Again, I'm not against telemarketing. I'm not saying it doesn't work. But if you're spending 8 hours a day telemarketing, you're not going to have any time to grow the business. You're just going to always chase that deal. If you want to make it a part of your marketing plan, I'm okay with that. But there has to be more than that, because then you're just convincing yourself that it's a competitive industry. Everyone is price driven. Like yesterday, one of my members, Daniel, he just made a great post, and the title was like, how do you structure a deal? He took an average deal, like $40,000, and showed how he made $18,000 commission out of that, like a $40,000 deal. For those of you who are brand new, usually from a $40,000 MCA, you might be making 8 points, 10 points, rarely more than that, right? Let's take the average of 10 points. So you'll be making $4,000. So how the heck did he make $18,000 out of that deal? No, he didn't rip off the customer. He knows how to structure a deal properly. Very consultative approach, offering multiple products. And for those of you who've been in the merchant cash advance industry, and if all you know is merchant cash advance, I got bad news for you. It's going to be more and more difficult for you guys to just offer that, because you can't really consult somebody if all you have is just one product. It just doesn't work that way, right? So Jason, that's my little spiel on the leads part. All right, let's see. Jason, leads are expensive and used up. Jason, yeah, if you're buying leads, they are going to be expensive, and they're going to be more expensive. Mars, LinkedIn marketing scripts or Craigslist ads marketing effectiveness. Craigslist. All right, let's start with that. Craigslist it's a lot of manual labor. All right, so I think you're going to be paying about $5 a post. In certain areas, it's free. But if Craigslist algorithm is so screwed up, you might posting it right now, and by the time I finish the meeting here, it might be just removed, and no rhyme or reason as to why they removed it. Someone complained about it, then you have to go back and post again, post again, post again. So it's a manual process. Can you hire someone to post it? Yeah, you can do that. Will you get leads out of that? Yes. But the problem you're going to run into, the first block of the thing that you have to figure out, how do I post without getting my ads blocked so I don't have to post and get it deleted, post and get it deleted? And let's say you figure that part out, then you got to come up with the content as to what you're going to say. A lot of times people say, hey, money, we're going to get you approved within 24 hours. We're going to put the money in your bank account. Bad credit is okay. No collateral, no cosigner, blah, blah, all that stuff. All right, you can try that. You're going to get leads out of that, but you're not going to be happy with the quality of the leads. I'll tell you that. It's been tried many times. So I'm not against it again, but you got to be okay with getting clients who are not making any revenue, or making maybe $5,000, $10,000 revenue. Then you're dealing with micro MCAs and micro loans and things like that. As far as LinkedIn is a great source for you to get a hold of the decision makers, like regardless of the business size. It is definitely a great resource. I teach a lot about LinkedIn, Mars. But one thing you have to make sure, a lot of people practice LinkedIn and they say it's not working effectively without creating a sexy profile. Like, you got to make your profile super attractive. Like, just put in just don't make it about yourself. I don't care about your title and things like that. Make it all about the business. Like, why would they want to go through your profile and have confidence that you are legit? Like, you have to build your credibility. Like, if your LinkedIn profile has your logo, that's not going to work. People hate seeing logos on personal profiles. Like, that's not even marketing, right? People think that that's marketing. Let me put my logo and replace my picture. No, I want to see who I'm doing business with. I need to see a close-up picture of your face, and I need you to see talking to me. Like, Make your profile all about them and make sure it is specific to the industry. If it is just, I can help anybody and everybody out there, it's not specific enough. People will like to work with specialists. If you're focusing on companies who sell pianos, well, that's a niche, right? If you're focusing on companies in construction and things like that, the more detailed you get, the more information the other person can have, and they would have the belief that you know what the heck you're talking about. Otherwise, it's not about LinkedIn script. You're focusing on the wrong thing on the get-go. If you have a stellar profile, I take it back, right? I'm sorry if you do, but most people don't, and they wonder what kind of script would work best. Script is a part of the game. You know what's going to happen? I don't know you. You send a connection request to me on LinkedIn. I take a glance at your profile. I don't have a lot of time, so I'm not going to spend 10 minutes reading your profile. I'm going to probably give you up to 5 seconds. And I'm usually doing it on my phone. Like I'm just going through my connection requests and I see yours and I just glance through it, either yes or no. That's that quick. Like I haven't even gotten to all the details that you have and things like that. And if all I'm seeing is like the CEO of X corporation and blah, blah, that's not going to help you. I want to know how you're going to help me. So usually instead of that title part, I highly suggest that you put something along the lines of how you help that person. So once you go through your profile, and once you finish your profile, send it to a couple of connections that you know personally on LinkedIn. Let's say you and I are connected, you know me. Just send it to me and tell me, hey Oz, I just finished updating my profile. I wanted to make it fit to the certain industry because I really enjoy helping this industry. What do you think about my LinkedIn profile? And people will say, fine. Or what do you do? If someone says, I'm not clear what you do, you did something wrong. In marketing, they say your marketing message should be as simple as a 6-year-old can understand it. Right? So using terminology, some people use abbreviations like MCA, SBA, and blah, blah. Your customers mostly is not understanding it. Like for a business owner, they don't know if they want MCA loan or SBA loan unless they have like 4 positions. You don't want them as a customer, right? They know too much and they're not going to make a good customer anyways. So just make it simple on what it is that you're doing for them specifically. So that's how we're going to earn them. Then after that, you can try different scripts to grab their attention, if that makes sense. Hey, William. You're welcome, buddy. Great to have you. All right, guys, we have a bunch of people here. Any other questions about this industry? Like does everyone understand what merchant cash advance is? I don't want people, confusing this with Motor Club of America. So we're not that. This is not that type of business. I get those questions sometimes on my YouTube channel. I think that's like a multi-level marketing type of thing. This is a real business, and my argument is that you can build it from home. Because once I moved from the streets to do marketing, I built it from home, and now I have about 300 people who are doing the same. So if you have the mindset of, hey, I need to have a big office, I need to have employees, I need to have a call center, I need to spend $5,000 on my website, I need to spend 3 weeks on my logo. No, you don't. No, you don't. That's just a lot of wasteful thinking, and it's going to waste your resources. And that's the cause that many people who are super excited about this industry, they come in, they burn out within a couple of weeks. And I've unfortunately seen many people who come in with a little bit of money because they heard that it doesn't require much of a barrier to entry because there's no licensing and things like that, but they spend their last $1,000 on buying live transfers and they don't pan out, then you're out, you don't close deals, right? The other problem that industry believes, the lead generation problem, because they don't want to acknowledge that they have a sales process problem. I'll repeat that. The reason that people who are starting out in this industry complain about leads is because they don't have a sales process. They only want to sell merchant cash advance. If you have a complete sales process, there's no such a thing as a bad lead. I know some of you will disagree with me on that, but just think for a moment, like if someone, let's say, is not a good fit for merchant cash advance, could it be a good fit for something else? Of course. There are many products. Let's say if they're not a good fit for anything else, well, then what's the reason that they're not a good fit? Well, the reason is they might not have revenue. It's a startup. They're probably not a good fit for SBA. They're not buying equipment, or they don't have enough revenue for equipment or the credit. So when you just chalk off all the things that they need, it comes down to them having, if you can't help them at all, no revenue and horrible credit. Then why would you not help them fix their credit, right? Get their credit fixed, make your money. There's a ton of money. Like my group made thousands of dollars last month from the deals they didn't fund. You heard it right. From the leads they got, they didn't fund, they still made thousands of dollars. Why? They planted a seed. They helped this client fix their credit. In a 2-month period, they'll be ready to be funded something. Then they're going to go back and make more money on that client. And the client is super happy because they found a consultant who can solve the core problem they have. Like if your credit is bad, you need it fixed. All right. So whether you want, if you don't want merchant cash advance, if you want better options opened up for you, you need your credit fixed. Like, yeah, you need to fix your business and you need to get revenue and things like that. So everyone needs that. So you gotta, like, many people don't have a sales process. They dial these, numbers, and they get these live transfers. And if that's not a good fit, they just hang up saying, "Well, that was a bad lead." No, that was a bad salesmanship. That was a bad sales process. And after you talk to someone, and whether they're a good fit or not, what kind of follow-up system you have behind it? How many times do you get in touch with that person? Like, for those who do not follow Grant Cardone, I suggest Uncle G. I suggest you follow him. He has a massive YouTube following, a ton of free stuff on sales process. Okay, his sales process is a little too pushy, so there are things that I don't agree with, but he makes a big deal out of the follow-up. Like yesterday, a member of mine was talking about how he closed a deal with follow-up that he's been doing for the past 4 months. Do you think he's just jumping on the phone every day and doing the follow-up? No, he automated the heck out of that. The system is doing the follow-up. The merchant is thinking that it is an actual, real, in-person follow-up, and you stay on top of mind. Like, many people don't have those. They don't have the pre-call lineup, that they don't know what they're going to offer. They don't have a process during the call with the prospect. They don't have a post-call analysis and also marketing. So when you have all of that in place, then after you've done all of that, if you're still dealing with bad leads, well, then I would agree with you. But on the get-go, you're telling me leads are expensive, leads are bad, and things like that. I can't believe that, but I know, because I know it's otherwise. It's not like that. Again, this is different if you already have an office with 10 people and you're buying data, you're complaining about your data source. That's a different story, right? So I'm talking about people who are starting in this industry and they're by themselves, and I suggest they stay that way. Some people want to be the boss, I guess, and want to hire the employees and have that mindset, which is perfectly fine. But don't do it just for the sake of calling yourself the boss, because signing a lease is not a small deal. Moving into an office is not a small deal. Hiring employees is not a small deal, guys. Like, the most difficult employee to manage is the salesperson. They're usually type A personalities. They're designed to convince you and sell you, and they're going to try to sell you why something does not work as well as something does work. You're gonna have a lot of trouble managing. So, in my opinion, I run big companies and I manage sales teams of 20, 25 people. So if I had the choice of running a multi-million-dollar company with just 2 virtual assistants versus running the company, a $5 million company with 20 employees, I would take the one on, with less employees any given day. You might say, well, it's you. I want to train people. I want to influence people and things like that. But you don't know it until you start doing it, what kind of grind it is. You're kind of locking yourself into an office for a good time. Purnell, regarding your program, roughly how much should I budget to spend on ongoing marketing costs with your training program? Purnell, so good question. we're teaching online marketing, but what I tell all my members is that I don't want to see anyone start running paid advertising unless you figured out your organic marketing. Let me explain that further. So of course, if you're running paid ads like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, you need to allocate a certain budget to the side to run those ads every single month. But I don't want anyone to spend their personal money to run the business. What I want people to do, and I explain this further, use the organic strategies to get in front of the merchants and start closing deals. Once you get to the point of consistently closing 3 to 5 deals per month, then if you want to, you can allocate some of that and start running ads. Because running ads, and we have a very comprehensive training on how to do that, because we're currently managing hundreds of thousands of dollars of ad spend of our actual agency level clients, right? So why do I say that? Isn't it easier to throw some money into the ads and run it? Yeah, but that's like adding fuel to the fire. It's going to spit out a ton of leads. And if you have no idea what the heck you're doing, if you don't have your sales process nailed down, if you don't have the follow-up system, all the things that I just mentioned, you're wasting those leads, right? And you know, it's just one shot thing. Then if you don't have that budget and if you waste all those incoming leads, then you're back to square one. I don't want to see that happening. So we have, again, the most comprehensive training on how to do direct outreach marketing. So you directly talk with the business owners. You're only spending maybe 2 hours a day to do that, and that's going to get you to 4 to 5 deals per month. And what that means financially is if you're, let's say, on the conservative end, you're closing 3 deals per month with the average commission of $2,000. Again, that's very, very average, very conservative for my group. You're making $6,000. So for most people to take action on what they don't want to do, like quit your job or reduce your hours or be financially secure, they usually need around $4,000 or $5,000. That's not your end all be all goal, but people come to me and they tell me, I want to make $1 million. Well, of course you do. Everyone wants to make $1 million, but we have to first determine what's your bare minimum that you need to make for you to sleep comfortably at night. So you have a roof over your head, you can pay your bills, and you can eat and things like that, right? If I take the average family, that's around $5,000 to $6,000, and it can be as low as $1,500. So you're going to get that locked in. And by applying the same organic inbound strategies, you can get it up to 6, 7 deals. So that puts you over $100,000 on income in this. And think about how much you spend. Like, you don't have a marketing budget per se. So when I say $125,000 in commissions, people confuse that sometimes with revenue. They say, well, $125,000, but when you take out your costs, you're down to like 50 grand. No, we're not talking about ad spend. Like, that's commissions. That's money in your bank account. So just let's clarify that, all right? If you're spending money on marketing as far as running ads, you're going to be spending a couple of $1,000s a month, but initially you don't need to do that. Are there other ongoing costs? Yes, like the cost of running a business. If you don't have a hosting account, if you don't have your website domain name, if you don't have your LinkedIn set up and things like that, and we do recommend a couple of software that you use. If I add it all up, you're going to probably need about $150 to $180 additionally per month to run this machine. Then when you get to that point of generating consistent sales, if you wish to run ads to get more sales, or if you're looking to sell leads to other companies, you can do so. But I tell everyone, like, I don't want to see anyone running ads on the get-go. Because if you just got into the program and we teach a different type of thinking than the traditional thinking, you got to get used to it first, right? And you got to practice on your free leads versus the pay leads. That makes more economic sense to me. I hope that answered your question, Parnell. Let me know if it did. William, can I direct my marketing for business from specific areas? Can I direct my marketing for business from specific areas? Yes. So I suggest that you specialize in certain things, certain areas, William. It can be a geographic location. It could be a specific industry or vertical or a niche. or a ethnic group, social group, or a church, or mosque, synagogue, whatever you want to focus on, the more you're focused on something, easier it is to conquer that. It's like the concept of defining your mountain. If you want to conquer the entire continent of America, you're going to have a tough time. But if you define small mountains and own them and kind of build on top of that, that'll make your job a lot easier. You can certainly target certain things. Jason says, what type of marketing do you teach? Is the marketing expensive? I think I answered that question through Parnell's question. Jason, let me know if you need more clarification on this. Parnell, my goal is to help at least 3 to 5 businesses a week. So Parnell, 3 to 5 businesses a week is very possible through organic means. That might not always mean that you're funding deals, but you're still helping them get something, small or big, and you're making money, they're making money, and some of them will turn into funding. But that is possible. But if you are talking about 3 to 5 MCAs per week, just know that that's a ton of money. That's like you're talking about more than anywhere from 12 to 20 MCAs a month. It's going to be very tough to do it just by you. You want to get to that level, but that's not a realistic starting point. But if your goal is to submit 3 to 5 papers a week and sell them different products along the way and end the month with, let's say, 6, 7 MCA deals funded, that's very realistic by yourself. But to get to that 15, 20 MCA funded per month, you will need you and probably like a part-time virtual assistant. I just want to be totally realistic. William, what kind of activities do virtual assistants do? They can do anything that you want them to do, honestly. But anything repetitive, I wouldn't want you to do it. I want you to master it before you can pass it to someone else, because virtual assistants do work for you. So you're going to be managing them, and you can't manage something you don't know. So you got to understand the process. So I suggest anyone who's hiring a virtual assistant to go through the program and apply it for a while. Then you can hire someone and you can tell them, hey, I want you to do this daily for me. So you can handle high-level stuff, such as, of course, showing up to the appointments and answering questions, closing clients. But the virtual assistant can do the back-end follow-up, like collection of the documents and submission of the file to the lender, from a small task to a ton of other stuff, so you have more free time. And virtual assistants can be hired from anywhere from $3 to $5 an hour, and they don't need to be full-time on the get-go. If you need like an hour help, 1 hour help per day, you can just do that for like, let's say 5 hours, and that's like $20 a week. You can start with that, and once you identify a good person, you can kind of ramp up their hours. There's a ton of things that people overlook, and they kind of get themselves overwhelmed. I mean, in this day and age, like we're very fortunate because the dollar has a very strong value in other countries, and you're not underpaying them. It means a lot in their country. It's just you're just taking advantage of their skill sets that you don't want to master yourself, because if you have not been super technical, it would be silly for me or anyone to say, hey, with this strategy, you're going to be super computer savvy. There's no need for that, right? Your job is not to be savvy on anything other than the product and the sales process, all right? I don't want anyone to be like LinkedIn smart, Facebook smart, marketing smart, and things like that. You just got to understand the product. You got to understand the process. You got to understand how to apply it properly. You got to understand how to delegate it so you can focus your energy. If there are 5 things that I can be excellent at, you don't try to be excellent at all 5. You pick the one that has the biggest impact on your business. And in business, the thing that's going to have the biggest impact is the revenue generating activity. Anything that's going to generate revenue for you, you have to focus your energy in that area. Okay, that's how it works. Parnell, my pleasure. Yeah, Parnell. I mean, great goals, but you gotta, we have a specific way of goal setting. So the first level is, what do I need to survive this month? Like, I'm not pie in the sky, but and the second level goal is, what is a realistic goal for me? I want to make $15,000. Awesome. Well, what is the stretch? Like, I have no idea how I'm going to get there, but I want to get there. So 3 levels of goal setting so you can see them in front of you. Because if you set a goal for making 50 grand a month and it's the first of the month, by the 5th of the month, if you don't have, by the 5th of the month, if you don't have enough pipeline, you're like, yeah, it's not going to happen. You already gave up on your own goal because it was not realistic on the get-go, right? So it has to be realistic to your brain. Stretching is fine, but you have to kind of create segments for your mind to believe in that goal so it can act towards it. Otherwise, you're not going to have the motivation. Jason, at what point can we use your company to help us market? All right, so we have, for those of you who might not understand that question, we have two parts to our company. Local Marketing Stars, a complete marketing agency. We work with larger MCA companies and we work with direct lenders. And we have the Blueprint program for someone starting out, but they're in business and they're trying to figure out how to do marketing. So the Blueprint program is for you to for us to guide you in that direction and work with you. The marketing agency part of the business, we come in and take over the entire marketing for that specific company. For that to happen, we need that company to be in business for at least 4 to 5 years, okay? So they know the products, because we don't want to deal with us sending leads and them going, oh, wow, what do I tell them, right? It happened in the past. Like we were not being as selective on the marketing end, and I remember this to this day. It's just shocked the heck out of me. Like we generated a ton of leads, and we're not hearing from this client. And a week went by, and 2 weeks went by, and everything is like humming on the marketing end. And the owner calls us like 2 weeks later. He's like, "Hey guys, we've been seeing a lot of activity. We've been getting these leads in the email. So are we calling them?" Like, ooh, so you have not been calling them all this time. So I guess those are not leads anymore because leads have a lifetime. So we do have a barrier, usually 5 years in business and a minimum of about 10 employees. And our lowest package is $10,000 per month. So if the client meets, we make exceptions, but for most of them, if the client meets that criteria, we don't want to get someone who has never spent $10,000 and they're spending their hard-earned commission on paying us. We don't want that. We want them to be already spending $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 in marketing a month, and we're taking a part of that so they have the leverage and it doesn't stress them out, right? Because we're looking for a long-term relationship. We don't want to have one client and not have them next month. It just doesn't make sense. Hey, Jesse's here. Hey, Jesse. Parnell, in your program, will most of the lead sales systems get to be automated at some point? I know you said start out organically. Well, Parnell, good question. So yeah, even if I said organically, that doesn't mean you're not doing any automation. Automation is the first thing that you're setting up, right? You might get the lead organically, but on the back end, you have to automate it. So you're gonna keep adding to that automation over time, and we will show you how to do that. If you want to get to a point of 70 to 80% automation, the automation will never replace you. Like you still will have to jump on the phone with someone, close that deal, and stay in contact with them because don't forget that you're not representing your brand on the face. Like they're not going to remember your company name. They're talking to Parnell as the consultant. So we can't automate that process and remove you from the equation, right? So you're going to still do that. Everything around it will need to be automated. So you're not typing emails that follow up, then picking up the phone, then coming back and submitting the file, doing all of that. Then you go back to the computer, you're like, crap, what was I going to say? Then you lost that, right? And you've been talking to someone for a while, then another lead comes in and that person calls you back and said, Parnell, yeah, man, I got one question. So that deal you got for us, so can we do 50 grand instead of 40? And you have no idea who that person is because you just lost it at some point, right? This is exactly what happens if you don't have automations in place. We don't want it to be that way. So, but yeah, so getting the leads organically has nothing to do with the lack of automation. You still learn how to set that up. William, do you provide suggestions as to what time periods are best for what activities generally? What is the best time to take calls? So we have most of our members, when they come to us, either they own separate business or they have jobs and things like that. So they are busy. We teach them how to work by appointments only. All right. If most of the time that's how it works, you're qualifying the leads ahead of time. What you don't want to do is offer your phone call to everyone. Like usually people say, yeah, just here's my phone number, here's my email, call me, we'll talk, we'll get you set up and things like that. No, that's not the right way to do it. You want the other person respect your time. For that reason, you do your qualification online. You want to understand. You say, hey, Mr. Merchant, before we jump on the call, I want to make sure that we can actually help you. Otherwise, I would hate to waste your time and my time. So for that reason, if you don't mind, I see that you're interested in getting funding for your business, but let's get some preliminary information so I can jot it down. How long you've been in business? A year. Okay, so how much revenue do you generate? X. Perfect. Well, it looks like I might have a couple of options for you, or you can even go as far as, if you have an average idea what your FICO score is, then after they answer all of that, then you can say, all right, it seems like I might have some options for you. I have 2 openings for Thursday at 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. So even if you have a full-time job, like my members just put the appointments on a Saturday, on a Sunday, or after work, and things like that. So it's not when is a good time. It's just you got to use the marketing strategies all the time. Then kind of have people get used to respecting your time. Because if someone is committing to an appointment, do you think they're going to have more respect for someone who just telemarketed them and interrupted their day and trying to pitch them while the guys are trying to cut the bagel and sell to their customers? Like, you're going to have more importance in their eyes. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Does that make sense? Sure, Parnell. I'm glad that I was clear enough. Other than that, this industry is, the other thing is, if you're starting out, just keep an eye for people who claim to be lenders and they're not, all right? Not everyone is a direct lender. A lot of people portray themselves to be direct lenders because they want to prey on people who are just starting out. So you work really hard to generate leads and you send it over to them. They tell you, hey, Parnell, this lead is not good, buddy. It's not going to work. Go find something else. Then next day you find out they funded the deal. So you got backdoored. So you don't want that to happen. If you're doing this by yourself, just do a lot of due diligence to find out who is a lender and who's not a lender, which is a big reason that people fail in this industry, because they don't understand, first, the commission structure, how they get paid. Second, who they're submitting to. The third is having variety of lenders for different purposes. Like some lenders do not like certain industries, whereas the other lenders do like in certain industries, or so different products. Like, if again, don't make all your products about merchant cash advance. Let me just take a look at this real quick. Guys, any questions? I'm getting a couple of emails from people saying that they can't get on the Facebook Live. Not sure why that would be. Obviously, we do have people here. All right, let's go back. Do you provide honest leaders? You mean lenders, Jason? Yeah, we do provide lenders, actual legitimate lenders. And we do have specific deals with some of them, leveraging the size of my group. Either we have dedicated specialists from their underwriting team to prioritize the files submitted by my guys and girls, and some of them offer higher percentages of commission than you will be getting by yourself. So we definitely have close to 30 different lenders for different products and services. William, what things should be considered in identifying a target market or niche? Well, you want to make sure that So there are so only few industries that can't be funded. So it's not really a big problem. Most industries can be funded, but first you want to know that that's an industry that you can reach. Like I don't suggest you target companies like Fortune 500 companies with boards and CEOs and things like that. That's the first thing. The second thing is you want to make sure that they have you got to do your qualification. Like they have a website, they have online presence, they've been around for a while. I wouldn't target any industry that's selling software specifically. Like they don't have a physical product; it's just a software usually. I don't suggest you target very broad industries. Like sometimes I ask people, who do you target? They say hospitality. Like hospitality is any place that sells food and hotels and things like that. That's just not specific enough, right? All right. Parnell, you mentioned credit repair. What are some of the complementary resources that are good to provide to businesses along with MCA? Anything that's gonna Parnell, anything that's gonna qualify them for the loan and or the advance. So one reason they will not qualify is credit repair. The other reason is credit monitoring. Anytime they check their credit for the lending. So those are the things that you can help them, and you can make commissions out of that. Like 401k, if they have a 401k, they can use to get funding. That would be another one. Let's see, a line of credit is another one. Then term loans, SBA loans, obviously merchant cash advance, equipment leasing. We have about 12 different products. Neil says your program covers all the things you're talking about: the sales process, follow up, a reputable place to refer clients for credit repair, how to offer additional products, vetted lenders. Yes, Neil. The program is not just about lead generation; it's about teaching how to run this business. Whether you're starting from scratch or whether you've been around for a while. Yes, absolutely. All of that and more. Let me just check the Facebook commercial partnership. Merchant cash advance. All right. All right, guys, we're pushing close to an hour now. If no more questions, I'm going to wrap up. I hope that this was helpful. Just let me know, give me some feedback, whether you like this or not, if you want to see more of this. So that way I know whether I should make myself available or not. I just wanted to chime in and answer your questions and give a general idea. I didn't know we had this many people who knew this much about the industry, which is, of course, very good. We have a ton of free resources, like check out the YouTube channels and my YouTube channel. If you haven't done so already, I can actually put the link here. That would help for you to find me. Once you subscribe, you can actually see the videos that I posted and anything new that comes up. I'm still here, guys. So if you're posting questions, do so. I won't leave without answering your questions, okay? Did my computer freeze? All I wanted to do was to copy my YouTube address. Come on, computer. Did you know that if you're between the ages of 24 and 50, your income will fluctuate from $27,000 to $57,000? All right. Here's the link. Finally, I got to it. Sorry, guys. Didn't expect to take that long. I just wanted to take a quick second. It took like 5 minutes. Parnell, my pleasure, buddy. Great to have you. Mars, thank you. I'm all in, Oz. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. William, great questions. Jason. Thanks, Jason. It seems like you've been on the channel. All right, Neil. Let's see, 12 products. Awesome, thank you. Yep. Matt has a question. Do any of your students ever develop into agency clients? Matt, by agency, like a marketing agency or like a big ISO shop? I'm not clear what you mean. Jason, how soon could we start getting deals in from the start of your training? So if you are spending 2 to 3 hours a day, going through training and applying it, you should be able to start submitting deals within the first 2 weeks, and you should be able to start closing deals within the first month. So this is not an elongated process of months of setup or anything like that. Because as you can probably see, I'm a very direct guy. So my process is what is the shortest distance between A and B. So A is where you are right now, B where you want to be. Funding deals, how do we get to that? That's why we're eliminating the whole process of developing a website, developing pages of content and things like that. All right, so we have a ton of demand here at B. Like, how can we jump through the hoops really fast and have you meet with them? So it's a pretty fast process. Thanks, Jeff. Marketing clients, 5 years experience, 10 employees, etc. All right, let me go back to the question. Do any of your students have developed? Some of them, Matt. Yeah, not a lot, because the goal of the program is really not to get them to that level, right? So many people who join the program, they want to work from home. They don't really. We only have about 10 to 15% of our members take that route, which we teach about. Like we cover that part if that's what you want to do. I'm not against it. Like I don't want this to come out the wrong way. If that's what you want to do, that's definitely a good way to go. I just want people to understand what that entails, right? So the goal of the program, Matt, is not for them to go through the training, then us to sell the marketing services, because I think the marketing services has a different target audience altogether. But yeah, we do have, like, for example, we have LJ who finished last month with $98,000 in commissions. And he has 14 employees, and he started in July 2018. So August, September, October. Sorry, my math skills suck. It looks like August, September, October, November, December. Like 5 months into 14 employees, $100,000 in commission. It's pretty drastic. That's exponential growth. But yeah, so 10 to 15% do that. But the remaining of the people, their goal is to buy their time pretty much and either work less or stop putting in 50, 60 hours of their time into their job and finally be home and take a deep breath and things like that. So we're not like promoting them to be an agency level clients, to be perfectly honest. But if they get to that level, I think they're going to have a pretty good idea who to hire, hopefully, if they're happy with the training. All right, guys, with that, I don't want to keep you any longer. Obviously, this Facebook group is yours. You can post questions. I'll be active here. I'll be pretty active here, so I can answer your questions. But again, this whole thing will be posted automatically into the Facebook group as a recording. Anyone who hasn't watched it live, you can post your questions below, and I'll get the notification and I'll answer them. All right? Good talking to you. Great crowd. Take care, everyone.